Hello and welcome to Teckno Tuesday, the weekly podcast about the first tech challenge and other things related to engineering and science. My name is Kendrick Bender and I'm here along with...
Phil almost didn't do it.
Scott Brenneman.
AJ Savopoulos.
Today we are going to be talking about tech talk,
Technical presentations.
Judging session.
And how to annoy the judges.
Today's going to be pretty much all about tech talk.
What do you mean by that, Kendrick?
We are going to be talking about the technical presentation side of the competition. We're going to be giving our point of view on different subjects.
Arguably the most important part of the competition.
That's right, because you can do a really good robot and by pure bad luck not get into the finals or not win, but you can get several chances at advancing by doing well in the overall award categories.
You could miss your chance at getting to the finals because of other teams and other people, but whenever it comes down to the technical presentation, nobody can really prevent you from doing really well in that
Only
area.
you.
It's only you. It's all on you
Only
at that point.
you can prevent bad technical presentations.
I like that.
That's going to be a new meme.
Smokey
Hey, look, it's
presenter.
right on it's on the screen.
Okay, so first off, first thing we have on the little list of things about technical presentation is that judges don't necessarily know what the game is.
Yeah, that's really annoying sometimes.
Well,
but
especially at qualifiers where they've recruited local teachers and business people and stuff like that may or may not have been involved. Chances are they haven't been involved because if they have been involved, they're probably mentoring a team, in which case they're probably not judges.
And a lot of times it's like they probably recruited at the last minute too, so they don't really have time to read up on it either. So basically go into the technical presentations assuming that the judges know nothing about the FTC game.
Right, so if you have a really cool feature on your robot that you're showing off, you may want to explain why it's a cool feature, not just what the feature is. Because if you've spent a lot of time developing a clever way to pick up some mission piece or some game piece, you should expect them maybe not to know what that game piece is.
And there's been a few times in the past where we've actually explained part of the game to the judges, and sometimes they've asked us to explain part of the game to them in previous years because they just simply didn't know what the pieces were for.
Or they may not know the scoring. They may not realize
Yeah.
that a lift of 20 feet is pretty significant for scoring.
They may think, oh yeah, 20-foot lift, that's okay,
That's
I guess,
okay.
I think, I don't know.
And they also might not realize that we are 18 inches by 18 inches, whereas 20-foot lift for a FRC isn't quite as impressive because you have much smaller, or much larger boundaries.
Correct, yes.
Next little tip, I guess you would call it, is introduce yourselves.
Hey, that was my tip.
That is
Phil's
Phil's
tip.
tip.
Phil, would you like to
Stop
introduce
reading all
that
my
tip?
tips. Yes, so my tip, having been a judge, actually not at an FTC competition, but at LEGO competitions, is the best thing that a team can do is as soon as they come in the door, they should introduce their team, number one, and then I like it when they introduce themselves, for no other reason that way at least everyone says something. I mean, you can go into a presentation where some person may not say anything, and judges don't like that. They want to see everyone involved. So introduce yourselves, and honestly, name tags are very cool. If you have your name on your shirt, or if you have a pin-on name badge, it enables the judges to actually ask questions. Say, hey, so John, you said blah, blah, blah. Could you explain what you mean by that? Rather than saying, hey, you over there, you said. So having name tags is pretty cool. Plus, it also enables the judges then when they see you outside to say, oh, hi, John, we just saw your presentation. We wanted to ask you something. So it's cool.
And sort of along those lines, I think having a team shirt is also pretty much critical.
Very true. Just so you can associate yourself with something at least. I mean, you're walking around.
That and it shows that everyone in there is on a team rather than maybe they were picked up at the last second or something like
At a
that.
bus stop. And in terms of someone who looks at team shirts a lot, some teams don't put their team number on their shirt, and I find that
It's
very
true.
fascinating. They're called out, they're ranked, they're scored, they're all these things by their number, although they may have a really cool name. If I look at a team shirt, and if I want to know who they are or where they're ranked, I need to know their number.
Yeah.
So put your
Especially-
team number on there in big letters.
Especially if you're playing them, you can't really find them on the match list with their name. It's usually just their team
true.
number.
Yeah.
And it's very, very helpful to get the team number. Also, you should have something that sets your team apart from all the other teams. And like,
For example,
for example, give
Having a
give
really-
them something. Like, give them a paper just describing your team, what your robot does, a real easy paper, or like do something really cool in your tech talk, like
like a chant or a cheer.
yeah, like get in, like they like spirit and smiling and jumping up and down.
That also ties into Phil's comment about they want to see you, if they see you later and want to talk to you. There's something like, oh, we remember them because they did this and this. That you'll,
And like when they give the awards away, they always have like those teams that related to something like they did, and they do that little poem thing.
And
They are a force to be reckoned
Reckoned
with.
Yeah,
I feel like that's
a lot
been
of
used
gravity
several
in
times.
this team.
yeah.
But you can also, even just by having a unique T-shirt design, can be really memorable in the tech talk as well. If you,
Especially if you're
like,
tight. Oh, sorry.
there were competitions back when I was on G-Force where they found us in the pits just because we had the bright yellow shirts.
Oh man, those shirts are
And
blinding.
They remembered us from the tech talk as having the bright yellow shirts.
I agree. And if you can in some way tie your robot back to your primary shirt color, that's great. So we always have yellow shields on our robot, and Clover's always has green shields on their robot. So it's a great way to let judges see the shirt, see the kids, see the robot as one integral unit.
Yeah, and it makes it a lot easier when you're watching matches.
Yeah.
So you
It
can
makes
just
you
like
too.
you can just like see like, oh, that robot is obviously with those guys because it's same color, same kind of thing, same.
We should mix that up this year.
Oh,
We
can we
should
put
have
yellow on
G-Force.
ours and G-Force do our green? And then we play against each other. Oh,
That's
that would
too
really
bad we
mess
don't
people
do
up.
any-
That would be hilarious.
Yes. Let's plan to do that, seeing it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Worlds.
Not
We're
this
not
year.
going.
God darn it, Phil.
Okay. So I have another one. My big one is demonstrate the robot. And by that I mean, you can't bring a field setup into the judging area. So you can't drive it, you can't do stuff like that. So if you have an autonomous routine, or if you have some autonomous built-in functions, create an autonomous demo program that doesn't require the field setup. So, typically what we'll do, like when we had the rings, we did a little demo that we say, now we're going to demonstrate what our robot can do, and they hit the run button, and the robot beeps, and we say, oh, that's a safety thing, so that you know not to put your hand here, and then it would sort of sit up, extend the arm, we'd hold a beacon up, and we'd move the beacon back and forwards, and the robot would track the beacon back and forwards. Then we'd push the ring in, and it would grip the ring because it was just a timed function, and then it would move up, let it go, and then retract back into its home position. I mean, that shows a lot of control on the robot that would be very hard for them to see unless they managed to accidentally see you at one of your matches.
We went the other way with ours, actually. You went with the complexity. We went with the simplicity almost, like making it as simple for the driver as possible is what we like to show, that we
Right.
like to strive for.
Right, but you kind of have to describe that. It's nothing
yeah,
quite like
definitely.
something
Yeah.
that moves and is like, ooh, gee whiz, I mean, we both did it on the year where we had the scissor lifts. Both of us, made sure that we had a program that would extend the scissor lift during the tech talk,
Oh, man.
making sure it didn't hit the roof, stuff like that.
I feel like we almost hit the roof the one time.
Yeah.
So show off if you can.
So find something that makes your robot unique, and then demonstrate that unique feature in the technical presentation.
Yeah.
Another good tip is to invite the judges to come back to your pits or to watch one of your matches and whatnot to see if you actually act out what you say.
Because there are some times where judges may not necessarily know that they can go check out the robots on the field or stuff like that, and just inviting them, saying, you can come check us out.
Well, and you can be specific about it. You can say, for example, you want to show them your software or your CAD drawings. Maybe there's just not enough time to do that in the technical presentation. But you can say, if you come back to our pits, team blah, 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 we've got a computer set up that shows all our CAD software and an animation of our robot.
And that can be a good thing to not put it into your presentation on purpose, that it is a reason to draw them back into your...
You could also even just give them a list of your matches. Say we're going to be playing, if you have that available, give them, we're going to be playing on this field at this time, so you can come check us out then.
And you shouldn't be like scared of the judges. I've found that when you talk to judges, they're like usually like
Pretty nice people.
Yeah.
They're nice
They're
people.
usually
And
nice
they kind of like
and they're very energetic.
they
They want
like
to learn.
want to know more. So
Yeah.
like, talk to them about anything about the robot, and they just kind of like want to know more.
Well, more than that, also is, I mean, judges need a reason to give you an award, so give them one. They want to find the teams to give awards to, so make it easy for them. If you make it easy for them, they'll go, well, that was easy.
I kind of want to hear the first judge say that. I don't think anyone will ever admit that they say that, though.
Say what?
That was easy.
Well, I certainly know that you'll find some judges that say the opposite thing. It's like, what was that team thinking?
So, were you one of those people?
No. Well, actually, yes. So perhaps along the way, on that same topic, things you shouldn't do. So who's got something that you shouldn't do?
Have your phones on.
Yeah, sure.
That is
Look
actually a big thing. 'cause
Look
then-
at your other thing, like just anything. Don't have your full concentration on the judges. Like, like
Try not to
I
text
wouldn't
them.
really like if I was spending my time volunteering and then I was judging these people and then they had their phones
One of
out.
their team members is texting on their phone because they can't wait 5 minutes to do it after the
Yeah.
presentation. That is like, I would say, pretty much the kiss of death, I'd say.
Try to keep anything that could distract the team members out of the judging room.
Well, and the senior team members, they know what the distractions are. They know if there's one of their team members that's, a fidget and is just not going to pay attention, to take away their stuff. Take away their stuff. Make sure they got their game face on when they go in there. Make them understand that it's really important for them to focus on the judges. Because, it's nothing worse than the kid that sees something cool in the room and starts, fiddling with the pencil sharpener or whatever,
Another thing is keeping your hands out of your pockets.
Yeah.
That was something we learned. That was something we learned first year. It was like you don't want to have your hands in your pockets during the whole judging presentation. Just
It looks very unprofessional. when you have your hands in your
sort of
pockets.
along the same lines, because then you don't know whether they're fully focused or not. If they're
I feel like the only time that's actually professional is if we were in a suit. Speaking of which, the first team that wears a suit, I would very much enjoy.
Oh, there's been teams that have worn all sorts of crazy costumes.
Nice
there's been
suits,
teams that have worn the jackets or
Right.
half a suit.
Yeah, but they only wear
the
half.
private school kids.
Yeah.
But they only wear half. I want to see someone wear a full suit
Okay.
or a tux.
There was an
She's
FIC
never
competition
been
that the whole team came as either not prom king or queen, but like the guys are all in tuxedos and the girls all had their prom dresses on. It was pretty funny.
What would
I feel like we should make a theme. But if we ever have a qualifier here again, we should have a theme.
what would be cool if everybody came in duct tape stuff? That
Team
is-
duct tape, that would be a good
That
one. Yeah.
that would be cool.
Isn't that a team?
Yeah, there is.
You should totally make a tuxedo.
That's something else don't do.
You should also not drill during the middle of your technical presentation.
So, what to do whenever it's so cold outside you don't know what to do?
That's right. For those of you who don't know, it's like last night it got down to at least -8 before I left Gears last night.
minus 15 this morning.
Really? Holy moly.
Yeah, it's
That's
just
pretty cool.
that's a little bit cold.
Wait, maybe it makes you hear things like Dremels and stuff like that.
I'm wondering, does everyone else hear that? Nah,
We're
we're
just
great.
going
I hear
crazy.
Raining
Yeah.
in the background all the time.
Yeah, so whenever it's that cold, stay inside and do nothing.
I was here last night and I went out to my truck to start it up, to get it warmed up. And while I was out there, someone called me and they were going to have to come back to get something. And so I'm going, okay, cool. And then I realized when I went to go back inside that the door had locked behind me, which wasn't a real big deal because, of course, the keys were in my truck warming up. But I'm thinking, man, if I'd done that without my keys, there's no one here, the doors are shut, my phone's inside, my face was starting to go numb, it was like, that could have been really bad.
Oh man.
So you just don't think sometimes. You got to be hyper vigilant with that super cold.
Yeah.
Because it was
I'm
windy
pretty
too.
sure, like, after it gets down to 10, you can't really feel that it actually gets colder.
It's just how much faster you
Yeah.
get.
I think thermometers in cars should, once they get below 10 or 15, it should just say cold.
Too cold. Too cold instead.
Don't go outside. Why are you driving?
Instead of when you open the door, instead of the door saying the door is ajar, it should say Close that door right now.
It's just like the speakers overbear you and just.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for today. So, on behalf of all of us here at Teckno Tuesday headquarters, thank you all for watching. Go ahead and leave a comment down below or off to the side, depending on which site you're viewing this on. Thank you guys for watching or listening.
Listening.
I'm gonna go warm up somewhere. I'm gonna take my hands out of my pockets and warm up.
Have a nice day.